Morning, Star Wars fans. It was a little bit chaotic getting things started up here, but I am Justin Mishiro, JagTech Hazardville, here to give you some coverage for the 2023 World Championships. They have started already, so we're kind of jumping in the middle here, but we'll try to catch up as quick as we can. Um, I am waiting on confirmation on who I've got on camera. I believe it is Carl Koenig, Crazy Carl, on the bottom of the screen here, playing Shadow Collective. He has the Basement Crew sleeve, so I think that's him. We had sound a little while ago, so I thought I heard his voice, but I couldn't tell who the other person was. So we'll hopefully get some information on that. It looks like he is up against Yoda Communing. Um, Glare's pretty tough in the spot that they're playing. So I don't can't tell what effects he's got, but sure looks like a Walkling. Um, got some shields out. That looks like a battle plan. It looks like it don't do that again shield as well. Um, which would be interesting. Not sure why he would have wanted that one. Huh. I don't remember what my own channel name is. Nope, no, just close that. Sorry for the technical difficulties here, folks. Getting everything set up last second here. Some plans changed. Looks like Carl's just setting up pretty nice and slow. He's got a Phantom Menace out. You'll be dead out nice and prominent there. Yoda Communing has got their Camino and their Camino sight. That looks like he must have a squadron assignments there, as he's pulled Luke Skywalker, Rebellion's Hope, and R2D2 in red 5 to go to Camino. So threatening the drain of 2 up there. That Luke, of course, deploys for free on the 0 or 7 ship. So, nice powerful one. That's a lot of power in a packet in a very small light side space package there. Although if he's using squadron assignments, then that does demand a starting slot, so not quite that small. But and we have the Naboo Theed Palace generators, the Naboo 2-2 out there on the ground. I would assume that the last light side effect there is Cytor to pull weapons. Cytor Virtual. Um, and the Camino and the Camino 2-0, which I would guess he must have drawn in his hands as he just pulled the Camino system this turn. The system on this end here with the first light, I think is Rendili. Not sure why Carl was just giving us that verify. Oh, probably pulling in Nemoidian that he doesn't have and isn't allowed to play. Got Mighty Jabba and Prince Zizor going down to the first light site. Crimson Dawn Blaster going on Prince Zizor. Can't see them, but certainly my guess would be that Shadow Collective started You Cannot Hide Forever to get this system, and inconsequential losses to recycle its guns. Light side is activating. Looks kind of like he did that pretty precisely. Alright, so he's going to pay to drain through his own battle plan. Now we can't see any of Carl's piles because of the orientation of the boom here. We'll see if we can get that fixed for game 2. They're playing 8 games today. Turn locations out. There's probably only like 2 more locations that are going to come out here, so I don't know if this is necessary, but that's what we'll do. That is the Theod Palace Generator Core. The 3-2. So one of the challenges for Shadow Collective in this matchup is that if both sides leave each other alone, light side will just present 6 damage across all of these sites, while dark side can really only present that much damage if they are able to satisfy a full "you'll be dead." The Darth Maul's lightsaber changes it a little bit because they do have access to that drain bonus. But lightsaber could be playing Menace Fades, which would shut that down. So here's Anakin with Anakin's lightsaber. And Lightsaber's just going to draw some cards. So Anakin pretty stable there by himself, since Prince Zizor is already deployed. Prince Zizor, of course, would be the one that would be concerning, although not so much, I suppose, at the core, because you could just hit him with the lightsaber and send him used. Light side's going to save 7. Looks like saving 7. Alright, yeah, not knowing who the other player is. Didn't do much there, but we've got Kira coming down. Cutting the deck. Or the hand? Probably the deck, I would guess. And a Danik Jericho and a Zam Wessel. So we're coming for Anakin. That much force up, you have to be concerned that So there's a Black Sun Blaster on Danik Jericho, Crimson Dawn Blaster on Zam Wessel. I suppose Anakin can't hit both of them, right? Because that's not how sabers generally work. Um, which means that he will get 2 shots here. Lightset's going to use 3PO. And there is a blaster deflection which gets grabbed. That is interesting. Oh, so Carl does have first strike in hand, but he didn't want to play it here, which is good. It's a good idea. He probably doesn't really have much to retrieve, so it wouldn't really make much difference. And he doesn't want to give him. He doesn't want to give his opponent the first strike when his opponent's only committed Anakin so far. I was going to say, interesting that he did not use Blaster Deflection lost. Because I would have expected Blaster Deflection to get grabbed, right? And then you have all this force saved. Using Blaster Deflection to shoot down the other character with the gun, it's actually, like, pretty good, right? What are we drawing a Destiny for there? Oh, they're into battle listings already. Zam's shot got blocked by their tracking us. Carl's hand's full of red here. Tracking us, weapon. Oh. Did he not crack his immunity with that red card? Why is he able to... Oh, he can subtract 2 from attrition with Yoda's HUD, of course. He's going to lose 6 cards in order to keep the Anakin on the table. That does not bode too well for Carl, but not much else he can do about it. He's got to just pass with no weapons at the site. Light side going to be able, or maybe can't activate enough to get all the way down to the 7 that was drawn for the first weapon destiny. He's going to get to drain for free. And of course, even if Carl is playing a copy of the First Light and goes to Rendili, R2 and Red 5 can chase, and I don't believe the First Light has enough hyperspeed to get away. So the First Light only has hyperspeed 3. Rendili, yeah, Rendili's at 2 in the hyperspace navigation. It's R2D2 Red 5. Yeah, so light side can freely move between those systems while dark side cannot. So deploying the First Light's a difficult proposition, especially against the squadron assignment build. You have to assume there's other ships, so you wouldn't even have to chase you with R2. You could just deploy other stuff on top of you. Just deploy like Wedge and Red Squadron one, Wedge Red Squadron leader and Red Squadron 1, and then move R2 over, and you can have the whole turn to prepare, and it's not going to matter. That is Hujix and Hanshin the Falcon on the weapon swing, which actually does hit because Anakin is just that good at swinging his lightsaber. Padme was added. So it's not as much of a beatdown as I think we're expecting. So that is 2 for Battle Destiny and Attrition Destiny. I don't think he tracked that very well in that case. Oh, he shuffled it anyway, so probably. I think he didn't have another lightsaber match. Was the problem? So. Oh, so Kira is defeated. Attrition reduction means that Yoda community doesn't lose anything, and Shadow Galactic's in a pretty bad spot here. This is like kind of exactly what you don't want to have happen. Like honestly, I might have even just forfeited a character instead of forfeiting the gun last turn. Like just so you have some kind of threat on the crackback, because right now he's got nothing. And he's got 2 low destinies on the. He's got a low destiny on the bottom, 2 low destinies on the bottom. You won't be able to hit even if you can put together a weapon in a guy, and he doesn't have any of his guns tracked to the low parts of his deck, so at least I don't think he does. So he wouldn't be able to consistently activate a bunch, play a guy, pull a gun. So yeah, difficult situation. He is doing a steady damage over there with the you'll be dead, but he's facing a drain of 5, or total drains of 5 now. Was just looking at the archetype breakdowns here. Um, as one might have anticipated, the recent erratas had a pretty significant impact. Oh, so it looks like we do have some action. There's a Miss Hunter, Zuckus and Forlom in Miss Hunter to go with Balatique. So, there's a gangster. Carl trying to get something going here. Sorry, as I was saying, the reason I ran it, keep missing stuff when I look back over at this spreadsheet. That's a Hondo Naka and Dengar in Blaster Carbine. Or Dengar with Blaster Carbine. At the Cloud City site. So, Darkside's on 3 battlegrounds. I would guess pulling resistance. Well, those are some interesting archetype breakdowns, I'll tell you. In fact, I will tell you. We get him to get them to you in just a second here. As you might expect, the race in errata, no one's playing router operations. Big surprise, probably, I'm sure. Um, no one decided to go for it with router operations non-B. But what we do have are 10 copies of a non-archetype deck. Non-objective deck, I should say. Non-objective, non-epic event deck. It'll be interesting to see that one on stream and see what's up with it. Because I would be surprised if so many people played a particular slip sliding away V deck that all started the same site and we're doing different things with them. So we'll see. On the light side, no old allies, as again you might expect. The top of this meta is pretty mains heavy. That's what I would say. Pretty mains heavy. On the light side, at least. On the dark side, I don't know, because we don't know what that non-archetype deck is. Say non-archetype. It's not a typical one, right? Not a epic event, not an objective. So Lightside did a bunch of damage and now has a Han Shearing the Falcon to go up against Mist Hunter. Of course, the ship that Mist Hunter is designed to fight. But it sure does look like he's activated down to a single card, which I would assume is probably a R2 in red, or an R2 in red 5. Probably a 7. I don't know that for sure, but we've added Leia V. All-star version of Leia. Yeah, Carl's got to read that one. Now, Senate text obviously not going to matter here. Game text canceling effects could matter, because I believe Baltic does add to power, so she can turn that off. Not as impactful as canceling the game text of, like, Grand Admiral Thrawn, but still good. Yep, and there is the 7s. That'll clear the ship. Even if Maul subtracted one, he'll still clear the ship. So, probably he'd be smart to not... Oh, he adds one and then subtracts from attrition, so... and there's a legendary starfighter. So now Darkseid's really in trouble. We're looking at now back to 6 points in drain plus 2 legendary starfighter damage. Yeah. Yep, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough. It's a big uphill battle for him to fight now. Like, he gets to do the 1 point of damage from the blaster, but I don't think paying for any of those drains is going to help at all. He's going to no escape the Mist Hunter. Alright. Unfortunately, we still have that 7 on top. So Darkseid has to draw like an 8 to even... Has to draw an 8 to clear the ship. Has to draw a 7 to even kill Leia. That is, I think, probably not where you want to be. Yeah, it's got resistance out. This matchup is tricky. There's light side presents a lot of problems for Shadow Collective that they have to answer very carefully. Is actually one of the reasons why the printing of the First Light Starship is a bit of a double-edged sword for this deck, because it's so tempting, right, to play the ship. It's pullable by your objective. It goes along with everything that you're doing. You get your Battlelessly bonus for having your characters on your sites because they are aboard the First Light. So there's a lot of reason why you would want to play the First Light Starship. The problem is the First Light Starship just isn't as good as Han, Chewie, and the Falcon. It isn't as good as R2 and Luke and Rebellion's Hope. So you end up having to commit a lot in order to actually sustain in space at all. Meanwhile, you're just eating this damage that you can't do anything about on the ground, or that is difficult to deal with on the ground, I should say. And the problem too there is that when you have to commit so much in space, Shadow Collective is a character restricted deck. It only has so much to put out, and without scum and villainy, you can't get back all of your characters. Your guns can recycle, but you can't get back your characters after you've lost them. And the generator core makes it even harder. Generator core is like the worst site for you, because so many of your characters just go straight to used from there. So like you have to, you know, try to get light side off of their sites. At the same time, your space is very vulnerable to theirs. I mean, this is a Squadron Times X, so it's even more vulnerable than it would normally be. Um, but even, I mean, even Han, Chewie, and the Falcon there um, presented a real problem. Like Miss Hunter, the new Miss Hunter is a good card. Um, there's another copy. To be honest, I don't think it does enough. I don't. It looks like we're going for it. So we got Miss Hunter, Jango Fett, and a gun, I think. So that does mean that Miss Hunter will get to survive this battle, because he has 9 forfeit to cover 7 that's on top of the deck. I don't know if Carl has a Destiny track that's high enough to actually get through and kill Leia. Although I guess if he draws a 7, then he will actually clear the ship, right? Because Maul will make it an 8, Attrition will make it a 6, but Leia only covers 5. So he's got a path to at least get that off the table, and then only eat 4 in drains from there. There's Jango Fett, yeah? I think so. Is it Destiny 1? That looks like a point man against the 7. You could reduce it to 6, doesn't matter. Increase it to 5 to 6, doesn't matter. And the ship is naturally power 8 anyway, so yeah. Lost. Why did you lose Leia? I don't think that was necessary. Well, maybe the Zim is from power 7 plus 7 against. No, that doesn't make sense. I don't know why he lost Leia there. That didn't seem like he needed to. I mean, in any case, if Lightside has any character to add here to make sure that they don't die, then he can just battle in kill the Zekis again. Or wait, he no escaped the Zekis. Yeah, that's not a second copy. I said before it was a second copy of Zekis. It's not a second copy of Zekis. It's just a no escape. He has First Light and Zam in hand. The problem is that Zuckus is going to die here, and then, like, if he doesn't clear whatever character gets added up there, then it won't matter. So that's I'm just trying to figure it out. Legendary Starfighter. Ooh. Well, you don't even want to engage. Present them the opportunity to play Legendary Starfighter. 2 force. Is that Onita? I don't know why he spent 2 force on it if it's... no, I don't think it is Onita. I don't know what it's not over there. Ray. Oh, that's pretty bad. It sure looked like he was retrieving a card. Draws the bottom with Ray that he just moved there with communing. It definitely looks like an Onita to me. I don't know why he spent 2 force on it though. Oh, maybe he was retrieving and then also played Onita to get back a different card. Qui-Gon and Saber, sure. And battling in space. Draws the 7 again. Draws a 6. Make 7, make 5. So he'll lose Ray in this exchange. Kill the Mist Hunter. I feel like that actually went pretty well for Carl. Because now he has the First Light in hand and a character and a 6 tract. Oh, he's just gonna fly away. Yeah, because he doesn't need to be at Rendili. Alright. That doesn't really accomplish anything now then. It's like, because he has the 6 track, so he can draw that for Battle Destiny, which will kill the ship, but... And now Darkseid is facing down 8, 9, 10 damage. He can cover 2 of it by going to space again. Or I guess by putting Zam Wessel in front of a character, but that doesn't really get you anywhere. Yeah, and he's definitely going to just eat that Legendary Starfire damage every turn now for the rest of the game, because he's not going to be able to kill Hunter and the Falcon behind 12 forfeit covered by Luke, so... Luke and R2. On top of having to actually fight through all of the nonsense over there with his Miss Hunter spent. Could be a reason to finally deploy that first strike just to retrieve the Mist Hunter. A little dubious, but might be okay. Especially if you fight into Anakin and Padme. Because they will... Like, if you fight into them with Zam, Zam just goes used, right? So you wouldn't actually have to worry about being made forfeit 0. If you had a gun, it's actually kind of not a bad battle. That's terrible. First Light going to Camino I don't think I like. But... And Zam going to Qui-Gon is also a little sketchy. Huh. Let's see what Carl's plan is here, because battling drew 5 and 7 to hit Zam, and then clash her. I don't know why you bothered with that. Okay, yeah. Alright. Battling just for fun, just to make things happen. Alright. So, Yoda Communing defeats Shadow Collective. One of 4 Shadow Collective decks in the field today. And one of 9 Yoda Communing decks. There's a lot of communing in this field. I suppose I can give you the breakdown. We got 9 Yoda communing and 9 Obi-Wan communing in this field, followed by 7 Anakin Saga. So you put all that together, it's 25. 25 light side main stacks. Out of 67. 67 players, pretty good. Or no, 69 players actually. Nice. I think two of the lists had to be tracked down still, so I don't think they're in the numbers yet. But 25 light side main decks at the top, and then 0 Hour is next with another 7. And then he's the chosen one. Then we got a little bit of variety. QMC, Diplo, Hidden Base, Senate, Mind What You Have Learned. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff after that. We're down into the pair of decks now. Dark Side's a little bit more regimented. We got 10 copies of Tatooine Desert Landing Site SSAV. Yeah, we'll have to see what that deck looks like. I'm anticipating some kind of nonsense, really. So, what's happening here? Sorry, folks, that spreadsheet wasn't actually supposed to be on camera there. And then we got Bring 'Em Before Me 7. Surprisingly to me, ISB and Walkers. Both 7 copies of them. Then we got Agents of the Black Sun, Hunt Down, Shadow Collective, Imperial Entanglements, TTO. So still pretty stratified at the top of the meta, or most popular decks in the meta, I should say. We'll see what actually comes out on top. That's why we play the games. But yeah, be interesting to see how the rest of the day turns out. So, I think for ease of breakdown, we'll go ahead and close this, and I'll restart it again for the next game. So we'll be back before too long with Game 2 from the World Championships. Stay tuned.